Hello. Welcome to the Free Bin, the Toledo, Oregon Public Library's podcast. I'm Harrison, and I have a short episode for you today because I'm just going to read you some old German children's stories. Oh, won't that be fun? Some of you may be aware of this book that I'm going to read. It is called Struwwelpeter. That's Shock-Headed Peter in English. Originally published in German in 1844 by Heinrich Hoffmann and translated into English in 1848. The edition that I'm using here is from Project Gutenberg. And it's published by Frederick Warren and Company Incorporated, New York. This one's not dated, but it's kind of cool because this is a rhyming verse that was translated such that it also rhymes in English. And I always find it, I'm always impressed when someone's able to translate rhyming verse from one language to another and make it work. I don't speak or read German, so I can't say for sure how well it was translated, or what they had to change to make it work, if anything. But, I trust that it's pretty good. This has pictures and the words match the pictures. So I'm going to say this is a pretty good translation. So I'm just going to read a few of these stories, and we'll make some discoveries together. All right. So here's a kind of a foreword here. When the children have been good, that is, be it understood, good at mealtimes, good at play, good all night and good all day, they shall have the pretty things Merry Christmas always brings. Naughty, romping girls and boys tear their clothes and make a noise, spoil their pinafores and frocks, and deserve no Christmas box. Such as these shall never look at this pretty picture book. So we're off to kind of a grim start there. So let's start here. First story, Struwwelpeter, Shock-Headed Peter. It's got a color illustration here of Struwwelpeter. He's not in great shape here. His clothes look great. He's very fashionable. He's got a belt that's a little too tight, but he's dressed sharp. But his nails, he's got long fingernails. His hair is kind of motley crewed out there. He doesn't look happy or unhappy. He's not doing great hygiene wise. And that's what this story's about. So here we go. Just look at him, there he stands, with his nasty hair and hands. See, his nails are never cut, they are grimed as black as soot, and the Slaven, I declare, never once has combed his hair. Anything to me is sweeter than to see Shock-Headed Peter. So we got one verse there, and it's just judging this child negatively. So that's a short one. It's interesting that title of the book is after that, because it's just I don't know. It doesn't make me feel good. Okay, next story. Cruel Frederick. Here is cruel Frederick, see, a horrid, wicked boy was he. He caught the flies, poor little things, and then tore off their tiny wings. He killed the birds and broke the chairs and threw the kitten down the stairs, and oh, far worse than all beside, he whipped his Mary till she cried. The trough was full and faithful Tray came out to drink one sultry day. He wagged his tail and wet his lip, when cruel Fred snatched up a whip and whipped poor Tray till he was sore, and kicked and whipped him more and more. At this good Tray grew very red, and growled and bit him till he bled. Then you should only have been by to see how Fred did scream and cry. Tray here is a dog. And it's kind of unclear. It looks a little like a dachshund, but then in other things almost looks like a golden retriever. I don't know. Maybe this is some kind of German dog they don't have anymore. All right. Anyway, sorry. Next verse. So Frederick had to go to bed. His leg was very sore and red. The doctor came and shook his head and made a very great to-do and gave him nasty physic too. But good dog Tray is happy now. He has no time to say bow wow. He seats himself in Frederick's chair and laughs to see the nice things there. The soup he swallows sup by sup and eats the pies and puddings up. And there's a picture of the dog who's eating the dinner. He's got a napkin tied around his neck. He's very He's very hygienic. He's not like Struwwelpeter. It kind of looks like he has... Does he have the whip on the chair? Does the dog have the whip? The dog has the whip now. I don't... Okay. All right, one more. The Dreadful Story of Harriet and the Matches. This one's got a lot of pictures. All right, here we go. It almost makes me cry to tell what foolish Harriet befell. Mama and nurse went out one day and left her all alone to play. Now on the table close at hand, a box of matches chanced to stand. And kind Mama and nurse had told her that if she touched them, they would scold her. But Harriet said, oh, what a pity, for when they burn, it is so pretty. They crackle so and spit and flame. Mama, too, often does the same. All right, his child is fascinated by fire. This is not going to end well. First picture, there are two cats with their hands raised, like they're telling her to stop. I don't know what that's all about. She's carrying a doll. All right, anyway, next verse. The pussycats heard this, and they began to hiss, and stretch their claws, and raise their paws. Meow, they said, meow, meow, you'll burn to death if you do so. Okay, yeah, I was right. The cats disapprove. They're very, very responsible. All right, here we go. Next verse. But Harriet would not take advice. She lit a match. It was so nice. It crackled so. It burned so clear. Exactly like the picture here. She jumped for joy and ran about and was too pleased to put it out. She's dancing around. The cats they're waving their arms around. She's not smiling. She's just enthralled, you know? And she's dropped the doll. She's no longer interested in the doll. She's just super into this fire she started. All right, here, the next verse, sorry. The pussycats saw this and said, oh, naughty, naughty miss, and stretched their claws and raised their paws. 'Tis very, very wrong, you know. Meow, 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 meow. You will be burnt if you do so. This picture's horrendous. Okay, next picture. The cats are screaming and this child is on fire. This classic children's literature. Okay, this is awful. Next verse. And see, oh, what a dreadful thing. The fire has caught her apron string. Her apron burns her arms, her hair. She burns all over everywhere. Then how the pussycats did mew. What else, poor pussies, could they do? They screamed for help. 'Twas all in vain. So then they said, we'll scream again. Make haste, meow, meow. She'll burn to death. We told her so. There are two more verses. They're really, I mean, it's a cautionary tale. There are morals. There are safety warnings, but they're really hammering this home. I guess that's good. Maybe. I don't know. Next verse. So she was burnt with all her clothes and arms and hands and eyes and nose till she had nothing more to lose except her little scarlet shoes, and nothing else but these was found among her ashes on the ground. Whoa, okay. And when the good cat sat beside the smoking ashes, how they cried, meow, mew, meow, mew, what will Mama and Nursey do? Their tears ran down their cheeks so fast they made a little pond at last. I'm having trouble describing the picture that's here. I'll link it in the show notes. It's two cats crying like a conjoined river of tears with a pile of smoldering ashes and a pair of children's shoes. This is, it's a kid's story. Yay. I'm going to skip this one. There's some context in here that's important, but I don't really want to use some of this language. Man that went on. Shoot, I'm going to skip the next one too. I'm going to do one more. Here's a classic. The Story of Little Suck-a-Thumb. This is, if you have kids who suck their thumbs and you want to kind of help them move past that habit, I guess this is a story that's supposed to help you as a parent transition your kids out of sucking their thumbs. Let's see what a healthy approach this story has to this problem. Ahem. One day Mama said, "Conrad, dear, I must go out and leave you here, but mind now, Conrad, what I say, don't suck your thumb while I'm away. The great tall tailor always comes to little boys who suck their thumbs, and ere they dream what he's about, he takes his great sharp scissors out and cuts their thumbs clean off, and then, you know, they never grow again." So unless your child is an axolotl, that's generally true. So here we go. So, just a monster will come and harm you if you engage in this behavior. It's a traditional way to, La Llorona, keep your kids away from a body of water. It works. I guess I know people who say, that works. So let's see if let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Sorry, I keep interrupting myself. Mama had scarcely turned her back. The thumb was in. Alack, alack. This guy's quick. The door flew open. In he ran. The great, long, red-legged scissor man. Oh, children, see, the tailor's come and caught out little suck-a-thumb. Snip, snap, snip, the scissors go. And Conrad cries out, "Oh, oh, oh, snip, snap, snip, they go so fast that both his thumbs are off at last." Mama comes home, there Conrad stands and looks quite sad and throws his hands. "Ah," said Mama, "I knew he'd come to naughty little suck-a-thumb." This is a peek into the past, to another culture, another time. And, who am I to judge? It's a little harsh, right? Maybe. But there you go. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed these delightful classic children's stories. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. The Free Bin is a production of the Toledo Public Library, which is part of the Lincoln County Library District in beautiful Lincoln County, Oregon. Writing by Harrison Baker, Cindy Balek, and Denise Marsh. Original music and editing by Harrison Baker. That's me. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect those of any organizations they represent. Good night.